All right, here we go. So this is kind of a special week. Um, not not only because it's here we are the week before Christmas, but the next time we will see each other will be in convention. I hope for most of you, if not all of you, and we also have a brand new company story. So that's we haven't had a brand new company story in 2 years, so that's really exciting. I love the way this one looks. And the timing is perfect because this is the week that we were going to go through the company story. So um, the timing on that is actually really, really good. So I'd like for us to start with our normal transfer in, and that is, what was your biggest takeaway from the last week? And again, just like before, it could be something that came from the online training material. It could be something that you picked up on a ride along. It could be something that something from last week's class. Just in general, what was the biggest takeaway, your biggest learning from the last week? And let's see, Leanne, how about if I start with you this week?
Hi. So I think my biggest takeaway was on ride-alongs with Steve, and just paying attention to all of the things that are needed when you're doing the measure, and making sure you're not forgetting transitions and all of that kind of thing. Just paying attention to the stairs and all of that, which scare me. So they're my thing. They're my worry spot, but.
Perfect. That means you commit to being the best stair estimator in the world, and you go get it.
I'll try.
I love it. Good. Drew, how about for you?
Going on the ride along, seeing some of the follow-ups that Randy's been doing, seeing some of these projects where the entire floor is off, and just kind of really getting deep down into like the stuff that you don't see in a home when it's finished.
Okay. Good. Good. Royce.
Sorry, it took me a minute to finally unmute. So mine was during a ride along. We encountered a extremely complex set of stairs. So they were both curved boxed, straight boxed, and it had a random step with one open side. And they were wanting to convert that to, they were doing hardwood throughout. So we were having to kind of figure out how to approach that particular staircase. And then, of course, after we build out the quote, then the customer decides that they want to do full treads all the way across and open return on the side instead of having them boxed. So learned a lot about stairs this week.
Nice. Nice. I love it. Jason.
I think for me, it was the Salesforce, the price lists and everything that we went over in boot camp the other day, and trying to just figure out all the different details that go into that will then feed the tablet and the InspireNet.
Nice. All right, Chris.
My biggest takeaway was the story that the people shared with the mystery shoppers, and hearing how our competitors vary from us with like the lack of samples, and trying to push certain things on you and not really giving that personal touch. So I'm looking forward to doing some mystery shopping on my own.
Nice. Nice. Isaac?
My biggest thing was from last week, we were talking about how to build out pricing options and making sure you have that 25% gap, some of the different options that you can use and stuff like that.
Good. Good. Let's see. Back to Texas. Let's go to Renee.
Hi, everyone. One of my walkaways from last week was knowing your products. When I went on my ride along, a customer wanted a hardwood, and being able to have the options of a laminate to show them, and even a luxury plank vinyl. That was a wake up call. I mean, because we're all kind of new, at least for me, and I haven't done any flooring. and to have those options right at hand and to know which ones to go to. I thought that was my biggest walkaway because the customer had an idea for one thing, but we gave them two other things that they didn't even think of.
Nice, nice. Jonathan?
Hey, everybody. So I guess one of the things being this time of year, we saw the value of the setup call this week and then how that prepares you for the appointment, or even if there isn't an appointment. So you kind of manage your schedule. And then of course, ultimately the setup call, you learn some things about what products and then eventually pricing. But we had a lot of cancellations with the holidays, so that was an important part of the process.
Okay, all right, so for those on the call that haven't put this together, you know, Renee and Jonathan are in the same office, right? I imagine if Renee's camera was down just a little bit, you could probably see the side of Jonathan's face. Yeah, there you go, right? So you know the two of them are in the same office together. So the question I have for the two of you is, which one of you is going to be the better salesperson? Just want to know. Oh, see, Jonathan raised his hand.
No
and Renee's
pressure.
like too shy. All right, here we go. Patrick, how about you?
Yeah, I think just kind of seeing all the pieces together and the sales and production, how they're going together. I've been focusing a lot more on the production side and just seeing how many additional pieces that you don't think of off the top of your head that go into the entire production. It's a lot, but at the same time, it's good to, you know, get that, try to swallow that now versus, you know, after you make that first sale.
Nice, nice. All right, John Suarez.
The biggest takeaway for me this week was learning Salesforce. You know, Salesforce has an incredible amount of capabilities, and you know, it's incredible just learning about it. And I'm excited learning more about it. I'm sure every day, you know, moving forward, I'm going to learn more and more, and it's just awesome to be able to learn and work with Salesforce.
Okay. All right. Taylor.
So for me, it was just cool this week to see how much information I was absorbing from, you know, the training, homework and things, and going on the ride-alongs with Jason and you know, going over doing an estimate and actually seeing familiar things and saying to myself, oh, I recognize that, I can do that now. I even, you know, was able to help out a little bit. So just getting that whole process going of it all coming together is really neat.
Nice, nicely done. Let's see, Wendy, big takeaway for you this week.
I think mine was the mystery shops. You know, both were companies that have been in place for 20 plus years, and just the lack of just care and professionalism was kind of shocking. And the lack of
Makes you
good.
It almost makes you feel like, if I can't beat these people, what am I doing?
Yeah. And just the lack of shopping experience. Like, to me, this is a huge investment in your house, and the lack of like care to help you pick out a product and make sure you're happy with your selection. Like they're very focused on the mechanical piece and not focused on the people piece at all.
Nice. Yeah, and I think if anything, we're very focused on the people piece, and the technical piece you're going to get. I mean, you have to get it, but we're very, very focused on the people piece. Zuri.
For me, it was to learn how to measure and to do it efficiently. And also, I'm looking forward to do some mystery shopping once I'm in the States. But just to hearing all these stories from you guys, it seems that the competition is not that we could beat the competition quite easily. But I feel it by myself.
There you go. Good. Let's see. Let's go to Robbie. Robbie, you are muted, sir.
Okay, can you hear me?
Got it.
Yeah, basically just, you know, getting faster with the measurement. tools that you guys use. The software is a little bit different than what I was used to doing with Empire. And so, yeah, but I like the fact that we try to, square everything off if and when possible. But really, it's more about getting into a lot of these different angles. And then, just familiarizing myself a little bit more with the van, where the product's at, where it's placed, and, what are a lot of the go-to type brands, pretty much.
Okay. Nice. Christian, as our sole Canadian on the call.
Yeah, I got an opportunity to go on a couple of ride-alongs with Jamie this past week, one last Thursday, one yesterday. Both of them were insurance claims. Regina has a lot of that going on right now, so it's interesting to see, like, outside of the whole inspired sales process, how that works. And it's mainly just, like picking up product, and helping the customer out with, what they already want and matching, to one was with carpet, one was with luxury vinyl yesterday. So right now it's just a little bit overwhelming. Yeah, like learning, where everything in the van is at and kind of the go-tos.
Nice. Nice. Owen, your big takeaway from the last week.
So yeah, I think it was good to get into the InspireNet and the measuring tools and the software. I still got a long way to go there, but it was good to get into it and start to work with it. I was playing around with it in my house yesterday evening, just to try to test out the software and whatnot. So that's a good thing, but also a realization that I still have a long way to go here, with opening day about 30, 40 days away here.
Yep. Sorry, we've got time to get there. Josefina.
For me, it was all the things that we did on the tablet. That was, a big thing for me. So that was a very good thing to do, to learn about.
Okay. All right. Dylan.
So mine was a little different. It was actually an operations shadow, which was cool to see that side of the business. But it was, in particular, was an issue with the carpeting. So when we ran the seaming, it would you could see the seams no matter how many ways you did it, and it was because there's a slight color variation between the two rugs, and so it was, unfortunate side of the business when things don't always go perfectly. And I guess the biggest thing for the customer was not about the delay in getting a new carpet in to make sure they got one that matched. It was about like how long the carpet would take to get there and having to remove all the furniture again. But Janelle was really incredible at doing it. We got in touch with Shaw, got to see direct communication with the vendor and got it expedited, and then complimentary moved all of their stuff back in for them and told them we'd move it all back again. So not the side you want to see, because you want things to go perfectly, but it's good to know that we have outstanding customer service when things do go the wrong way.
Nice, nice. All right, so for those that haven't put this together, Royce and Dylan are not in the same, they're not in the same room, but they're in the same office, right? So my question for you guys is, between Royce and Dylan, which one of y'all is going to be the better salesperson?
I'll admit this. I'll give it up to Royce. Royce has not just done sales for probably 4 times, 5 times longer than me, but he's done the inspired sell for the majority of his career. I'm telling you, you guys meet him in Mexico, he might know it just as well as the creator. He's really good.
Good.
Not like setting a bar high for me, Dylan. Thanks.
Exactly right.
Pressure makes diamonds.
That's it. Here we go. All right, Denise.
So mine may seem pretty simple, but having done this with a different company who also utilized a tablet, one of the things that you showed us last week on the tablet that I just thought was so cool was being able to do the takeouts for the standard cabinets, because that can end up being just ridiculously time consuming, and then hoping you get it right and hoping you've still got enough floor to go under the stove and, you know, this, that, and the other. I just think that being able to do cabinets in linear feet is a pretty big deal. And I know, like I said, that's
Nice.
simple, but
The little things, right? It's the little things. Good. Let's see. Let's move over to Brad.
It's weird. Like every place I go now, I start looking at the floor and I start looking at the seams and I start looking at everything, and it's trying to like marry it to some of the content we've had over the past couple of weeks and realizing there's still a lot more, a bigger learning curve than expected.
You don't know yet what you don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Let's see. Tatiana.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm without the camera today. We all got sick and driving back home from vacation. I think the biggest thing I learned this week is the PLM manager and how much work I still have left to do when it comes to updating those prices. And I was able to do the Salesforce estimates. I thought that was pretty cool too.
Nice. Nice. And I think, last but not least, I think we've got Carrie.
Hello, everyone. I think my biggest takeaway was I've been handed over to do the first two steps, for certain customers, the setup call, as well as the warm up or melt the ice. And I had a very interesting conversation with a customer the other day that said that they had a horrible experience with Empire and told me all about it. So, and she was very complimentary to me as far as being helpful and considerate and whatnot. So that was interesting.
Nice.
So I feel like I've just been learning a lot. So
I love it. I love it. Okay. Did I miss anybody? Checking back over my list. I'm checking it twice. I think that we've got everybody here. Okay, good. So let me share my screen with you guys. Let's get all of the screens put where they're supposed to be. And let's jump right in. This is truly exciting. All right, so let's quickly take a look at the scorecard, and then we're going to dive very quickly into the company story here. So just taking a look at where we are. So for today, we should already have weeks 1, 2, and 3 complete. So these three boxes should be complete, as well as the Salesforce side. These 3 boxes should be complete. And then for franchise owners, weeks 1, 2, and 3 for this stuff at the bottom should all be complete. If you see one of these that, like here I've got an NA or whatever, it just means that nobody's gone into it yet. So as soon as you go into it, it will open up for you. For next week, which our next week together is going to happen after convention. For the next week, week 4 learning plan is on the docket. So you got week 4, the week 4 Salesforce funnel reporting, and then finally for franchise owners, the online escrow portal. As always, I will send this with a recap today so that you have an opportunity to see it. I don't want to spend a ton of time here just because we've got so much other content to cover today. But I'm really, really tickled to death with the ride-alongs. So we're, halfway through. By now, you should probably have, let's say, 10 to 15 ride-alongs. And, Leanne's right on board. Drew's at 20. I've got 8. Jonathan's at 18, 28 for Mauricio. Absolutely stunning. Jose's at 13, 19 for Ravi. 11, 12, we're in good shape. 32, Denise is that's all she and Josh ever do is just go run appointments. And as a result, it's going to pay off because as a result, she's seeing all kinds of stuff in the home. Christine's at 16 and Dylan's over here at 11. So you guys are really knocking the ball out of the park when it comes to ride-alongs. So thank you for that. Good. Any questions about this Otherwise, we're going to move quickly into sort of a recap of the homework. All right. So in the homework, the Floor U material, this is what you guys went through. You went through a ton of material about hardwood flooring. So what's the difference between traditional or solid hardwood versus engineered? How it's made, how it's graded, how durability is tested, how it gets installed. You learned a ton of material about laminates, and you should have started learning the company story and practicing delivering the company story. And then there were some estimating exercises specifically around hardwood and laminate. Any questions around the stuff that you guys went through in the online material, in the self-paced material? Nope. Okay. Good. Well, that either means that it's really, really well done and you got a lot out of it, or we went to sleep listening to the long hardwood sessions and I don't remember even going through it. That's either way, we're going to move forward. All right, so where are we with our inspired sale? So just to remind us of where we are, we've done our setup call. We've come to the house and had a great warm up. Step 2, the inspection and the reference list. So we inspected the space. We've shot an inspection video and we've measured the job. We went out to the van and we pulled products out. Okay, so this is where we finished yesterday. Today we're going to pick up from step 4, the company story and the installation presentation. So the installation presentation is that video that runs right in between company story. So let's see, Wendy says, can we record? Am I not recording?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you are recording.
Oh, are you? I missed it then.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Good. Thank you for checking. All right, so today we're gonna work through the company story. The installation presentation is that video that automatically plays about halfway through the company story. But today we are going to spend time specifically in the company story and in the new slides of the company story. So not this one. I got to change this graphic. So what is the point of doing a company story? Why bother? I mean, we're going to bore our customer to death for 12 or 15 minutes and, you know, does it really matter? What's the point of doing a company story for somebody?
Just set an expectation.
In what way? How does it set an expectation?
So it kind of shows them what to expect from our company, why we're different, and why they should go with us. And that, like throughout the video, it shows our process, and they can kind of know that we're serious and know what to come to expect when we do come to the house throughout the whole processes.
Okay. All right. So setting expectations, maybe doing a little education. What else?
Differentiating us from the competition.
Okay. So Jason, expand on that a little bit.
Showing them that we care about them and that we're not just coming in, taking measurements and leaving them with a price, that we're actually want to take the time to get to know them, get to understand how they're going to use the floor in the house. And so we can give them the best product for their specific needs. And also to excuse me, to show them how we rank compared to our competition, that we're rated, you know, the highest in category and net promoter score, that we can compete with the big box stores, that we're a better option than, you know, the cheap guy that's just gonna come in, quote half of what we are, but may not show up to finish the job, or he's not gonna, you know, install quarter round, and there's going to be a big gap around the outside of each room that he's putting wood or vinyl or whatever down. So just differentiating us in those and other ways, I guess.
Okay, good. What else? Why else do we show a company story?
Well, it would defeat the need for additional estimates if you do it properly.
Okay, so Dylan, how would you use the company story to do that?
I think it's in just in totality, you know, from talking about how we rank, as Jason had just mentioned, but also the method of installation, the proper warranties, the insurance, comparing us to big box stores, local retailers, and the chuck in the truck. I mean, everything in totality, if delivered properly with enthusiasm, and they have that trust there, it essentially will hopefully defeat any need for additional estimates because they feel like you're the only option for their project.
Okay, I like it.
And also
What else?
specifically the apples to apples slide, I think it's very important for us to show them, so once they get a quote, they know what quote are getting, and we can get into competition, kind of like we're gonna do everything. Maybe they'll quote you cheaper, but you still have to pay extra. So I believe that one it's really important for us to tell the customers.
Okay. Other thoughts? Robbie, I'm really interested to hear your thought because you came from a completely different, I mean, you came from in-home flooring sales, but with a very, very different way of doing it. So what are your thoughts on coming in and sharing a company story with the customer?
Well, initially it's about the credibility and just building up the value and all the little detailed things that we do that is going to come across to that client that they're not taking as big a risk on their investment going with a 4.8 company review than Empire that is all, and it's about the obviously the material and stuff. I just think that we have a little bit superior material selection than Empire.
Okay. All right. So we've got better material. We've got better service. We're going to differentiate it. Who won the Super Bowl last year? Anybody remember?
The Rams.
The Rams.
Okay. So if I wanted to go get a job with the Rams, or if I were a vendor trying to sell the Rams something, or if I were trying to book the Rams for some reason or whatever, if I had any sort of business negotiation with the Rams, do you think that they're probably going to mention that they won the Super Bowl this year? I mean,
absolutely.
I don't have any inside contact with the Rams, but I've got to imagine that the first thing they did after they won the Super Bowl is everybody that has a business card from the LA Rams, now all of a sudden their business card says Super Bowl winner. And I'd be willing to bet that if we took a minute and went to their website, it probably says Super Bowl winner across the top of the webpage, wouldn't you think? I mean, it's a big deal, right? All right, so college football fans, who won the college football playoffs last year?
Georgia.
So do you think it's important for Georgia to announce to every high school football recruit that they're trying to recruit for their team? Do you think that's important for people to understand that, hey, we won? We are the champions from this year or from last year?
You always want to be associated with the big dog, right?
That's it. So who is currently the #1 rated flooring company in North America?
FCI, baby.
Yeah, that's it. Floor Coverings International is the #1 rated flooring company in North America. Do your customers know that? They probably don't, unless you tell them. I mean, it might be on our website, but if you've got a customer that has come to you through a Home Advisor or an Angie's List or a Thumbtack, they may or may not realize that they're dealing with the #1 flooring company in North America. And the company story gives you the perfect opportunity to explain that to them and to show them why we are, what differentiates us from somebody else. Okay, the installation video is just part of the company story, but what is it in that installation video? What are we trying to accomplish with that video? Why are we showing the customer this installation video right in the middle of the company story?
educate the customer and let them know there's a lot more involved to the process doing it correctly than what they might think.
There you go, right? So how do people think that a hardwood floor goes in?
They think you just lay it, glue it or nail it, and that's the end of the day.
That's it.
Easy and not disruptive.
Yeah, easy and not disruptive. Where do people get the impression that this is going to be easy?
HGTV.
Exactly. Right. So people, you're walking into a home where people think that everything costs 99 cents a square foot, that the process is going to be easy and painless, and that, you know what, you can have everything done within 22 minutes, because that's how long an episode is. I mean, it's just, right? This is sort of this is the downside, if you will. I mean, HGTV has done a lot to promote, hey, let's fix up your house. So from that perspective, I really love it. But it also makes things very, very oversimplified when it comes to install. Okay, so this installation video gives you the perfect opportunity to help somebody understand how much more goes into it, to help them understand what the process looks like. Okay, all right. So when it comes to learning the company story, there's a lot of different ways to learn it. One is to, first understand what the order of the slides is and understand the slide content. And I've asked you guys to start thinking about transitions between the slides, and then we're going to spend some time today with the new slides, and we're going to talk about what does it mean to really understand why is this slide important to the customer. And then later we can get into understand, alter, and convert, and how do you price condition. So what I want to do is I want to walk you through the new company story slides. Okay, these are brand new. You probably don't have them on your tablets yet. The new company story will be rolled out at convention. Some of you may get it before that, but everybody will get it at convention here in a couple of weeks. So if you're practicing with your franchise owner, you still have the old one. The good news is that the new one and the old one are similar enough that if you've done a lot of work on memorizing the old one, then the new one's actually going to be easier. If you haven't spent any time memorizing the old one, then, well, here you go. Now we start from here. So very briefly, in like 5 minutes or less, I just want to flip through these with you. I sent these to you in PDF format with the script attached, so you already have this, and hopefully you've had a chance to open it up and look at it. But let's just quickly go through them, and then we'll come back through and kind of dive in a little bit deeper. So the first slide is still considered the My Job slide, right? So this is where I still get to introduce myself and explain to the customer why it is that I love my job, okay? But now we have a different second slide. So this is sort of a new slide, and it talks about us having a promise. This is our brand promise. And our promise is to provide the best flooring experience in North America, full stop. So this is it's a great slide. You'll see that the theme of the way that the slides feel is a very refreshed look. It's I love the floors that have been picked that go in the slides, but more than the floors, it's just a clean, much more modern look to the slides. We do still have this this is what I call the first service brand slide. So you still have the first service brand slides. It's just updated. And you still have the opportunity to point out to customers the other companies that we're associated with. So in case you weren't aware, First Service Brands is our parent company, and First Service Brands owns CertaPro Painters, California Closets, Pillar to Post, Home Inspections, Paul Davis, and TLS. And 5 of these companies, including Floor Coverings International, 5 out of 6 are specifically in-home improvement. TLS is sort of a call center that services most of these companies. But the same thing that you were doing with your First Service brand slide before, you can do again here, because this is truly about being able to service our customers. Now, here's the updated map slide, and you'll notice that the numbers have been updated. So we have served over 400,000 customers, and we have over 200 locations across North America. Exciting for me, 2 weeks ago, I was in Atlanta training the December TSA class of new franchise owners that have now opened their business. And in that number, we've officially crossed over 200. So we are officially over 200 as of today, or as of 2 weeks ago. This is also updated. So the old slide says 4.7. Well, the new statistics were 4.8 out of 5 stars. And so we continue to push up. You'll also notice that like Home Advisor is not listed here anymore because Home Advisor is part of Angie. You've also got Home Stars. So this is something new with the new company story. It used to be that there was a US version and a Canadian version, simply because like there were certain companies that weren't represented one to the other. Well, Home Stars only exists in Canada. That's not a US thing, but that's okay. We're all going to play from the same slide this time around. You still get the Better Business Bureau slide. The wording at the top is a little bit different. Instead of saying shocking fact, we now have the unfortunate truth about home improvement. And I like the wording I like the new wording because this is, we're talking about truth, right? This is a truth in the industry. And it's not solely around flooring, but the truth about home improvement is, and you've still got the same statistics that you had before. Now, big theme for convention and a big theme for us going into next year is this idea of, and we're playing off the 4.8 out of 5 stars. So how do we earn our stars? So I love this slide. It's almost like a little summary slide. How do we earn our stars? We have a mobile flooring showroom. So we make the buying process very, very easy for the customers by bringing a mobile flooring showroom to the home. We bring all the samples to the house. We have a local team you can trust. So by local team, you guys are part of a local team that's there to service the customer. So even though the name is Floor Coverings International, that international certainly has its benefit, but customers really do identify with local small business and knowing that they're going to get the customer service that comes with dealing with local. Communications and support. This truly is sort of differentiating us, particularly from big box stores where the communication and support is just not there. So we will communicate with people. We're going to give customers a seamless service experience, and we're going to focus on customer satisfaction. And the idea is that we're not happy until they're happy. A trusted source. So here we are. We are properly licensed and insured wherever we operate, and we continually train. So this is how recent this is. This is how new this is. This picture was taken last week in the office. As a matter of fact, if you look really, really close, I know you can't even see what it is, but way back here in the back, we had big red Santa hats on the big red holiday hats, Santa hats on the chairs, and there's still one sitting on a chair. We thought we got rid of everything for the picture. There's still one sitting there, but this was literally last week and pulling that picture in. A little bit about the installation process. Now you'll start to notice when we get into the back half of the presentation that you'll see these customer quotes. And so what this allows you to do is you can talk about your installation process. You can talk about the fact that you know your installers, that they've been personally vetted by you or your franchise owner, that these are people that are part of your team. And so you can talk about the installation process, but you don't have to read the reviews. So these are quoted customer reviews that are embedded into the presentation, and the customer can just read those as you're going through it. You don't have to read these for them. Then the video plays. The video hasn't changed, and you can talk about how do you choose. So once again, you've got the opportunity to talk about how are we different from other companies. So it might be a retail flooring store, it might be a big box store, and once again, you've got quotes that are going to pop in here that will show you, okay, this is one of the ways that we differentiate ourselves. Manufacturer direct. So we have first quality products that you won't see from anyone else. You'll notice that the Dolce Vita board is not here. Eventually, not anytime soon, but eventually the Dolce Vita brand name will end up sliding away. Not a big deal. We will still be left with 4 great brands, and a lot of the Dolce Vita products will eventually get rebranded under Hemispheres. our competitors versus us. So this is not intended to be Home Depot. It's just a big box store, okay? But this is absolutely, this gives us the opportunity to have a very, very frank discussion with the customer. What is the difference between the way that we price versus the way that our competitors price? And for a lot of you, if you haven't done secret shopping yet, or you haven't really dug into their quotes yet, oftentimes a competitor will give a customer a price that looks really, really low, but then there's additional charges that can happen on the day of the install. For example, it may be that in the fine print of the contract, it says that the installers will move product up 3 stairs, but no more. There's additional charges for moving product up more than 3 stairs. So I've literally seen where customers have been charged extra because there were 5 stairs leading into the home. Or the product was on the ground level, and now the installer's got to move it to the 2nd floor, and there's an extra $500 charge for moving the product up the flight of stairs. I've seen where, you know, people get hit with all sorts of extra charges on the day of the install, particularly around furniture move. So a lot of your big box stores will advertise that they'll advertise that they do free furniture move, and then when the installer gets to the home, the fine print says it's free up to a certain number of pieces, or it's free up to a certain amount of weight. So this is the one that I love in particular, and I've caught Home Depot here in my town doing this. The fine print on the contract says that they'll move all the furniture for free for any piece that weighs less than 25 pounds. So how much furniture do you have in your house that weighs less than 25 pounds? Probably not much. I mean, maybe an end table, maybe, maybe a nightstand. I don't know, not much. But anything else, there's extra charges. And so a customer could end up with $800 or $900 worth of extra furniture moving costs that they didn't know was going to happen. With us, we're straightforward pricing without hidden charges. We make the process easy, and we're not happy until you're happy. And then that's it. So the company story is shorter. There's fewer slides. It's a cleaner look. It's a refreshed look. And so this is where we're going to spend our time today, working through these.
Hey, Arlen,
Yes.
one quick question. The Instain uniform, is that van wrap gonna change and show the new van wrap versus what's in the right
Yeah,
there?
eventually, yes. So this will change. Let's see, I'll have to do this quickly. Took a picture. There were 2 prototypes that were at the office last week. Let me see if I can do this quickly for you guys. Yes, the photo in the presentation will change to the new look.
Yeah, this is Owen. I've been interacting with the vendor that does our wraps, and they've been they're putting the old wraps on hold as of now, and they're waiting for the new wraps to come in for the branding.
Oh. There are 2 prototypes that are being evaluated. One of them. And the other one? So it's the same, basically the same design, just one's in blue and one's in gray. You'll notice that the look is cleaner. So in the background, you know, this is our old one, which has a room scene on it. And the problem with having a room scene on it is that the flooring in that room scene becomes dated really, really fast. So whether it's blue or gray is still up for debate. That's being worked on even this week. And I suspect that we'll have an answer, if not by the end of the week, certainly by the time convention rolls around. But it's a cleaner look. The van will have a QR code on all three sides, so side, side, and back, and that QR code will scan directly to the scheduling website, so that's kind of cool. You'll notice that there's a new website that's going to show up here, fcifloors.com. And that's helpful because right now everybody has their own individual URL that shows up on the side of the van, and nobody can ever remember that. I mean, mine was, you know, Columbia East Floor Coverings or Columbia East /Floor Coverings International.com. It's too long. It's too long for people to remember. It's too long for anybody to do anything with. And so by simplifying it to fcifloors.com, that's something that somebody could actually remember. Your local phone number would still be on the van. So these are obviously the corporate vans, so it's got the 1-800 number. Yours would still have the local number on it, which I think is important. But to simplify the website makes a ton of sense. And then, of course, once the customer puts in their zip code, it's going to take it to your website anyway. So anyway, whether it's blue or gray, it's the same design on both. It's just, that's what it'll look like. And yes, Robbie, to your question,
Kinda
that
like
new
the
look
gray.
will eventually get popped in here.
Okay, that's cool. Right. What color you like best, darling? Is it gray or blue?
I'm torn because I think the blue is a prettier color, but the gray, I think the lettering actually shows up better on the gray. So I'm torn. Fortunately, I'm not in a position to make that decision. So somebody else gets that one.
I like the gray too.
To be honest, I could be happy with either one of them. I'd be good.
The chat box seems synonymous with everyone.
Chat box says gray. The chat box is 100% gray. I don't see anybody saying blue.
Man, yeah, blue's just getting crushed.
Blue is getting crushed. Nice. Okay, look at that.
You gotta pass that along.
I will. Yep. I will copy the meeting chat and send it over to Stacy and say, okay, this is, you know, informal. There we go. Good. Okay. So here's what I want to do. I know you guys don't have this on your tablet yet, but that's why I sent it out to you in PDF format. Okay. I'm going to send you guys off into breakout rooms. And within your breakout room, I want you to work through the company story. Now, what I mean by that is I want you to actually deliver the company story to the person that you're with. We're not going to take the time to go through all of it. So let's take that pressure off. But what I would like for you to do, there are, let's just count them together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 slides before the installation video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slides after the installation video, which I like because once that installation video plays, it sort of feels like you should be finished. But this, you've only got 6 slides after the fact. And really, if you think about it, those 6 slides, I'm going to deliver a message here. I'm going to deliver a message here. I'm going to deliver a message here. And then here, you know, we make the process easy. We're not happy until you're happy, and let's build your perfect solution. Those 3 slides could literally take you 15 seconds to deliver, right? That you certainly can deliver a message. You know, if I'm talking to a customer in the warm-up, I found out that they've done projects before and they absolutely hated the contractor because of this, this, and this. I can certainly take a moment on this slide and expand on how we're going to make it easy for the customer. I can expand on, you know, hey, we had a problem last week on a job and we went back and took care of it and this and this and this. And, you know, I can talk about carpet seams or whatever I want to talk about. We're not happy until you're happy. Okay, great. So this is, each one of these slides you can absolutely slow down on and deliver a message. But you can also move through these 3 slides really, really quick. So what I want to do is I'm going to try to hit this so that there's like 3 people in a room. And I just want you to deliver like the first 4 slides, then the next 4 slides, and then the next 4 slides, and kind of work your way through the company story together and just take turns. So for example, let's say, and it's probably not going to work out this way, but let's say that I've got Patrick, Royce, and Renee in a room together. Okay, so Patrick maybe starts and he delivers the first 4 slides. Stop. Renee and Royce, give him some feedback. What do you like? What do you not like? How could Patrick make it better? Give each other some feedback, and then maybe Royce goes. Royce delivers the next 4 slides. And Renee and Patrick stop after 4 slides, give Royce some feedback. This is where I thought, this landed really, really well. This is where I thought you could make that better, okay? And then of course, Renee gets her opportunity to go. I'm not that interested in you guys memorizing a script. You already know the old company story well enough to understand kind of what the main points are on each one of these slides. So this is a great opportunity to just, I don't want to say wing it, but in a sense, let's make this your own company story from the beginning. So I gave you the PDFs. You should all have those in your email. Pull those up. Do not read the text that's on there. And I'm going to go ahead and drop you guys into breakout rooms, and then you guys know when you're in a breakout room, you can call me for help. I mean, through Zoom, you can reach out for help. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of pop in and out of rooms so that if somebody needs me, I'm there. Any questions about what we're about to do? Work. Good stuff. There's nobody that I'm worried about being. Renee and Jonathan, with you guys in the same physical room, you guys can hear independently, right? Okay, perfect. Tatiana, you should have an invitation to drop into one of the breakout rooms. All right, let's see. So the next, John, you're talking about moving from one company story to the next. I would almost, not quite, but I would almost be a proponent of changing the company story every month. Because the bigger risk is that people let it get stale. And so having it change frequently, maybe not big changes, but small changes, maybe would keep it fresh. Anyway, more on that later. All right, so room 5, Denise, Jonathan, Tatiana, what big learnings came out of your room?
So first and foremost, for me, these new slides are phenomenal. I love that they're updated. I love that they're fresher. I feel like they present better to the customer. But as far as how he did, I wanted to talk about how smooth he is. So the transitions were seamless. Even just having done this the first time, he understands what he's wanting to convey to the customer. And I really felt that listening to him. I think he and I both, I'll let him speak for himself, but the one thing that I think that he and I both mentioned that we want to make sure that we hone in on better is that very first slide about why we love our jobs, because I can talk about why I love my job for 3 days. So I've got to figure out how, well, I came from Empire, so go figure. But I really want to get that to where it's impactful, but not mushy, just
Okay.
something that's
Yeah.
professional, but that conveys what a great company this really is.
Nice. And I remembered that Robbie came from Empire, but Denise, I didn't remember that about you. So good to know. Good to know. Denise, are you going to be in convention?
I will not.
Oh, that's a shame. That's
It
a
is.
shame. Jonathan, anything big learnings for you out of that room?
Yeah, I think slide one, it was almost as if we agreed that slide one is, it's summarizing what the appointment has been up until this point. From the setup call to, like she said, Denise said, you want to make them smile before you even meet them. So that initial phone call, you get to the front door, you're doing the warm up, and you've already gone through the measuring process. So you're like, this is what I love about my job. I like coming into your home, helping, solve your flooring solution, and then you're going into everything else. So when you establish that relationship before slide one and at slide one, when you're sitting down at a presentation or something, it helps it go more smoothly. And
Nice.
and we just love those little those dark grayish pewter colors. They have the "we first serve others," the unfortunate, and the BBB is a nice wording. We really liked that. So
Good.
it kind of helped us break the ice in the slides and transition more naturally.
Good. Good.
She did a great
All right,
job.
let's see. Carrie, Christian, Isaac.
Yeah, I can echo what everybody else is saying and liking the new slides. I think they flow much better and they're not so crammed full of information that you're worried about missing something. So it leaves room for you to make it your own and personalize your presentation to customers. Christian did a great job. You could tell that he had some inside home sales it's already, just in the way that he walks through it and some of the feedback that he provided as well. And then one area that he pointed out I could improve on, and I think he's right, is just making sure that you deliver it with enough energy. So deliver it with enough energy and make sure that you're emphasizing those key points as you deliver it with that energy and driving home what you're trying to emphasize for each of those transitions in the slides that you're presenting.
Nice. Nice. Carrie or Christian?
Yeah, I think they both did a great job. I was at an appointment and I had too much background noise for them to hear me. But I think they did a great job of delivering and made some great observations of each other and pointed out some really poignant pieces of the company story. So it was very interesting to see them rehearsing with each other.
Good. All right, Christian.
Yeah,
what did you take away from this?
Yeah, I do like these new slides. I thought the other ones were a little closer to, like, especially the apples to apple bits, to what I'm used to. But yeah, this is going to take a little more. I think there's more room in this one to kind of be a little bit more personal and kind of put your own spin on it and not go, word for word. Isaac did a really good job. He knows the material like really well already, and the only thing I guess like told me that I'm going to take away for and kind of put into the slides is the part with the installation process, just to really like hammer at home, why we are different and why we're more professionals than the other companies.
Nice. Nice. All right, Renee and Zuri, they had a chance to go twice. So
yeah,
you should have twice the learning. I want to, so what is, you had all sorts of stuff here.
Yeah, Renee did it really, really good. I stumbled a little bit. I need to work on my vocabulary a lot. There's like specific terms that I know in Spanish, I don't know in English, so I have to work on that. We really like the new slide presentation. I got a question on number 22 slide, because it feels like to me, or I don't know how to turn it around. It's like we're telling the customer that we're not the lowest price.
Yeah, we're telling them that for sure.
Like direct. I mean, on the other slides, we're telling like, hey, we may be more expensive because we're like all inclusive, like all. But this one, I don't know if it's like too much, like to tell the customers that.
No, this absolutely, I want to tell the customer almost, okay, I'm pushing it too far, so don't actually do this. But I almost want to walk in the front door and say, hey, I'm going to be more expensive than everybody else you talk to, but let me explain to you why that's important for you to pay more, right? I mean, it's bold, right? This is a bold statement. This is a quote directly from a customer. All of these quotes are real reviews. I had 4 quotes from different companies, but chose Floor Coverings International, even though they weren't the lowest price. So it's a teaser for the customer. Okay, well, there must be some reason that this other person, they chose a higher price company. Why? There must be a reason for that, right? It's a teaser. It's to help somebody understand, hey, yeah, there's a reason that we're going to be more expensive. And other companies and other customers have gone with us, even though they weren't the lowest price. So we're not going to win business on price. We just won't, because we're going to provide a better solution than most of your competitors do.
Okay, perfect. Renee, your thoughts?
I know you feel like because of the language barrier, but I honestly feel that will work in your pros because you take your time and explain. So it's just a matter of you retaining the information, because I feel like for most of us, we get in that sales mode and we just run it off really quick instead of taking time. So that was one of my pros with you. I do love this new presentation because I feel like it's clean and have a lot of points in every one of the slides that I feel like I can take personally and make it my own.
Good. Good. All right, I'm going to transition to the whiteboard for a moment. You should be seeing the whiteboard.
Yes, we are.
Okay. Get this out of the way for a second. So let's think about the flow for a second. What is the number one reason? Remember, there are 4 reasons that people buy from you. There are 4 reasons that people make a buying decision. What's the number one reason that people make a buying decision?
You.
The person, right?
The person.
The person. Okay, so good. So now let's think about the Inspired Sales System. We start with a setup call, and we get into a warm-up. Okay? This is all about the person. Okay? So you're learning about them, they're learning about you. This is the opportunity for you to really, really connect with the person and to make that connection such that, yeah, they believe that you're the right person for the job. Okay. What's the second reason that people buy?
Company.
The company. Okay. So now let's think about the Inspired Sales System again. After the warm-up, we're going to inspect the space. We have to measure and price up the job. And then we're going to come back into the house and do our company story and the installation presentation, which is the video. All right. So the inspection and the measure and price, honestly, this could relate to the person because they're getting a chance to see that you really do know what you're talking about, or it could be more with the company. But the company story and the installation video, this is all about the company. So this gives you the opportunity to explain to the customer, they should feel very comfortable with you as a person, and now you're giving them the opportunity to talk to them about the company. So what's the next step in the inspired sales system? Well, the next step is the product presentation. And we're going to eventually get to the pre-close and the close. Okay. Well, the product presentation, what's the third reason that people make a buying choice?
Product.
The product.
And finally, what's the fourth reason?
Price.
Price.
Price. I did that. All right. So the inspired sales system is purposely designed to move from person to company to product to price. Right? That's the flow. And you'll notice that within the company story, that first slide, that my job slide, it's almost like a mini warm-up as you start the company story. So think about the flow here for a second. I've warmed up with the customer. We walked through the space and I understand what they want their new floor to look like. Now, so we're together here. We're together here. But now when we measure and price, what happens? Now we're spread apart. So I'm walking around the house measuring, and the customer is hopefully in the kitchen calling the reference list, but for sure we're not side by side anymore. So I'm doing my thing and the customer's doing their thing. So when I come back into the house, so I measure and price, and then I go out to the van and pick out, right here, I'm going to the van and I'm getting products. Okay. So now when I walk back into the home, it's almost like I need a mini warm-up to help get back into this again, right? And so when I come back into the house, I sit down with my tablet, let me show you what I found. I show them the inspection video, and I immediately roll right into the company story, but I roll into the company story with the My Job slide because it gives me almost like a mini warm-up, and now we're back into it again, okay? So within the company story, we're reinforcing the fact that, yes, I'm the right person to work with. Then immediately, what do? We jump from there to, now we're really talking about the company. So what is our promise? Our promise is to provide the best flooring experience in North America. And you'll notice that Mary Ann purposely left this script very, very short because this gives you the opportunity to talk about, if you wanted to, you could talk about NPS. You could talk about being ranked #1 by Entrepreneur Magazine. You could talk about any one of those things as a way of defining what does best mean. I'm probably not going to talk about 4.8 stars because I know that's coming later. All right, but now we're starting to talk about the company. The next slide, okay, so now we're talking about the bigger company, First Service Brands. Great, we're part of a family of brands that puts service above everything else. Good, okay. Now you can add local community involvement here if you like, that's great. And we move right into the map slide, what I call the map slide, because you get a chance to see the map still here. There it is, you got the US and Canada right there side by side, and updated numbers here, okay? So you're immediately moving into the company again, right? And you continue to talk about the company as you go through the 4.8 out of 5-star slides. This is what the industry looks like. This is how we earn our stars. I know I'm moving through this quick. This is what we do in terms of training. This is what we do in terms of install. I get my installation video, that's great, okay? How do you choose? And you can actually hear, you're still talking about the company, but you're already starting to transition to product, okay? Because you can talk about the fact that we have products that no one else is going to show you. We're manufacturer direct. So we've got products that you won't see anywhere else. Okay, so now all of a sudden, we're still talking about our company, but this is another one of those transitions where we're still talking about the company, but we're already starting to foreshadow product. Yep, this is how we do it versus they do it. And all of a sudden, we're starting to talk a little bit about, we're sort of foreshadowing. What are we doing? We're starting to foreshadow price. So when you think about the company story, we make it easy for you. We're not happy until you're happy. Boom, let's build your perfect solution, right? So when you think about the company story, yes, you need to understand the content for each slide. You need to understand how to transition from one slide to the next. But also think of the company story as, I mean, this is a story. It has a beginning, it has an end, it has a middle. And so I'm trying to weave this story together in such a way that makes sense for this particular customer. Does that make sense? Okay, good. And I hope that helps. As you guys are practicing with the new slides, think about it that way. This is a, you know, once upon a time, there was a company called Floor Coverings International. And in the end, everybody lived happily ever after. And then, you know, in the middle, you've got your color commentary that you add. Good. All right, so what do we do next? Well, the next time that we meet together, you should be able to deliver the company story, the new company story, in less than 12 minutes. And with the new collection of slides, I would say probably even less than 10. So you should be able to get this knocked out in about 10 minutes. For our next meeting, I'm going to ask you to memorize, look at the luxury vinyl planks, look at the features, advantages, and benefits there. Now, your week 4 homework is going to spend some time talking about luxury vinyl planks and that sort of thing. That's great. Our next meeting is going to feel like it's a long time from now. So we are not meeting next week. Next week, the week between Christmas and New Year, if you are working, go land a ton of sales when a bunch of other people are just not going to bother. If you're not working, then I hope that you have a great time off. I hope you have time to spend with family. So we're not meeting next week, and the week after that is convention. I hope to see all of you at convention. If you're not there, then for sure I'll see you the week after when we meet back together for our next class period. So Wednesday, January 11th. That day, we will talk more about product, and we're going to talk about how do you present product in the home. So if you can have a sample board handy, that would be helpful. And if you're watching this on the recording afterwards, here's your makeup word. By the way, all of these words come from one source. Maybe that helps. And no, it's not just random words out of Wikipedia. All right, questions?
Yeah, what was the recap on those words again? Space race?
Oh, you had space race. We've seen Darcy's donkey. We've seen, what else have we seen? Have we seen scallywag? I think we've seen scallywag. Yeah, there's a bunch of them out there.
Happy holidays, everyone. Yeah.
Yep.
Nancy's whiskey.
So guys, have a great one. I am working next week, by the way. So if you guys need anything, feel free to reach out. You know, I'm taking Friday off this week, and then you know next week is a work week, and I'm plugging away at making sure that I've got everything that I need for the sessions that I'm leading at convention.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Arlen. Happy holidays.
Good time.
Happy holidays. Thanks a lot.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah, happy holidays, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Arlen. Happy holidays, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, Marlon. See whoever at convention.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.
Arlen's buying at the convention.
Right. At the I'll buy the first round anyway. How about that? See you guys.